The most common way to sell a course is actually the worst way for beginners. Instead, there's a much better option to get started faster, which will usually bring in sales much faster too. Plus, it's so powerful that even Jeff Bezos continued to use it, long after Amazon had already become a multi-billion-dollar company. He did it by personally reading customer support emails so that he could continue to maintain a firsthand understanding of his customers' problems. And this principle underlies the first way that I recommend you use to start making course sales: sales calls. Now, hearing this, you might be thinking, but the whole point of having a course is to not have to do sales calls and be able to make sales more passively. Don't worry, I am not saying that you have to do this for forever or for even very long if you don't want to. And also, by the way, if you're new to sales calls, I will link another video for you walking you through exactly how to do one. So either way, I've got you covered. But let me ask you, what's more important to you? To start making sales now so that you can build the skills and reputation that you need to be able to get to that passive income? Or to sit and wait around hoping and praying for someone to finally buy your course? Around here, we are about doing what you need to do to be able to have what you want to have. And this first way will get you moving. Plus, it'll also give you a chance to maximize your upfront profit. Because since you're doing a sales call anyways, you might as well offer some more additional personal support, like a few one-on-one calls or extra email support to balance in the upfront effort that you're putting in to make those sales. And that includes the effort that you're putting in upfront to learn, which is the same reason that Jeff Bezos still took the time to connect with the minutia of customer complaints. Because this is the best and honestly kind of only way to learn what you need to about your audience, like how they think, what hesitations they might have about buying from you that you want to address, and why they choose to buy from you specifically, so you can do more of that. Doing this, and thus learning all of this, will pay off over the rest of your business's lifetime. So high five to that. Especially when it comes to growing your course sales on autopilot down the road, which we'll get to in just a bit. That's the dream. But also, let's be honest, when you're first starting out, you probably don't have that kind of momentum yet. One solution to jumpstart past this problem is to find people who already have an existing audience and offer a service that's complementary to yours. This is way number 2, selling your course through affiliates. This way, you can leverage their existing audience and audience relationships to get your course in front of more people and make sales faster. And your affiliates get to make more sales without having to do the work of creating a new product or delivering it. So done well, this creates a really great win-win relationship. And it doesn't have to be complicated either. The first time I did this, I just sent a potential affiliate an email. I told them about my course, who it's for, my credentials and experience, and why I believed it'd be a great fit for their audience and their business. Then at the end of the email, you just ask, hey, if you're willing to share my offer with your audience, I'm happy to split the sales that come through. Typically for a course, I like to split it 50-50 because even though it's your course, it's their audience that they have probably put in a lot of time, money, and energy into building and nurturing. But if this isn't your cup of tea, or in my case, coffee, that is okay. The point is that you've got options. You are not locked into any one strategy, especially not the one that you might have heard of before watching this video, because it is the most common way and what people think of when they think of selling a course. First, you make a course, then you put it on your website, and finally, hopefully, you're able to drive a ton of traffic to your sales page via going viral on social media. Of course, that is one option, and that's why this is way number 3, harnessing the power of social media to drive more sales for your course. But to be honest, having helped thousands of people grow their own businesses at this point, I don't recommend this option for most beginners. Because in order for this method to be successful, you've got to be able to drive a ton of social media traffic. We're talking tens of thousands of followers at least on at least one of your social media platforms. Not to mention that this method also relies on you having a lower priced course, maybe around $100 to $300, so that it can be a low risk impulse purchase where people don't need a lot of time or consideration just to get to your page and make that purchase. So for this method to be worth your time, you would need a lot of volume for those lower sales numbers. And the reality is that is rare for a beginner course creator. So this is an option, and it's one that could work really well for you down the road, but it's not one that I would recommend starting with, which is actually great because there are so many people, myself included, who have been able to make 6 to 7 figures in course sales without having to have built an audience of hundreds of thousands of people and rely on impulse price purchases. And being able to do this yourself starts with creating a systematic way to communicate the value of your product, address potential objections a customer might have, and move them through their customer journey. My personally preferred way for doing this is through an automated sales system, which is way number 4. Here's what this could look like for you. You create a webinar, which ultimately just boils down to a video that explains who you are, why you're qualified to sell your product, how your product can help your ideal clients, and why your product is so effective. And because you do this in a concentrated amount of time where people can listen to you explain all of this at once, you are able to build trust and understanding with your ideal clients much faster, so that someone who is ready to buy can get all the information that they need to decide if they want to buy now, even for a higher priced course. But to be completely transparent with you as always, this does take a lot of skill to do. Personally, it took me doing over 100 live webinars before I'd figured out how to consistently drive sales through my funnels. But it's like anything, you get out what you put in. And once you do figure it out, it's a huge turning point, because this is when your course sales can become a lot more passive. Moving forward, your webinar does the heavy lifting for you on repeat. So don't worry, it won't always be this much work to sell your course. In fact, as you build your audience and your direct marketing skills, you will get to the point where you can have just an internal launch. As in, all you have to do is promote your course internally to your existing audience, primarily through your email list, although of course you can also use social media if you want. This is way number 5, and it's how I currently run my business. I love this way because I see it as you getting to enjoy the results of putting in all that upfront work. As you use all the methods that we talk about in this video, you will naturally build a sizable audience, reputation, and relationships. And that's what I've been doing as well over the last decade. And that's why I now have a very sizable email list audience, as well as a whole library of courses, which I open for enrollment via internal launch once a year. And in case you're wondering, this is separate from my flagship programs like Employee to Entrepreneur, which are open year-round and which I use those funnels that we mentioned earlier to sell. So the point is, you can combine multiple strategies or you can double down on just one, but it will get easier. However, it's just that none of us starts here. Where you will most likely start, and it's where I started too, is with way number 6. Because when you're first selling a course, you might not have a big audience. In fact, you might not have any audience. That's why you'll want to use your course launch to also grow your audience in the process, and ideally also help you make more sales. I call this an external launch, and it's my favorite way to help new course creators get course sales because it combines the two things that you really need: growth and attention. My favorite strategy for doing an external launch, and it's how I sold out my own first online course within just 8 weeks, is a challenge launch. Essentially, where you host a free event, in this case a challenge, leading up to your course launch. And the challenge consists of short daily prompts, often over 5 to 7 days, to help you connect faster with your ideal clients, build trust faster, showcase your credibility and expertise, and in short, address a lot of those common disadvantages that new course creators face. But that's also not the only factor that makes a challenge launch, when done well, so powerful. Not only can you promote the challenge as a free, high-value training, which it is, to help you grow your audience leading up to the launch, but you can also design the challenge prompts themselves to help you grow your audience during your launch. That's how, during one of my own challenge launches earlier on, I grew my audience by hundreds of people within just a few weeks. So if you're getting ready to create and sell your own course, or you've been wanting to, I highly recommend my in-depth free training where I walk you through my exact strategy. This is the same strategy that I used personally to cross over $1 million in course sales in less than a year, and have also used since then to help my clients make millions in course sales themselves. So if you want to know the strategy, you can sign up for the training at luisazhou.com/class. I've put a lot of thought and effort into it, and I think you'll find it really helpful. Enjoy.